Rev it up and welcome to Cars Yeah, show number 1199.
In my world, if you're not failing, you're not succeeding.
This is Cars Yeah, where you'll enjoy interviews with inspiring automotive enthusiasts. Mark Green is here to provide you with a fuel injection of automotive inspiration. So get in, sit down, buckle up, and get ready for a wild ride here on Cars Yeah.
Hello, automotive enthusiasts. I'm revved up and so excited to introduce today's very special guest calling in from Trumbull, Connecticut, Mike Carlucci. Mike, are you buckled up and ready for a fun ride?
I am. I've been waiting. I've been anxious, and we got a good show underway. I can't wait to get the thing off the ground and revved up.
Absolutely. Mike Carlucci is the Senior Vice President of Revenue and Specialty Events at Clarion UX, a UK company that manages 37 events across 11 sectors of both trade and consumer events. Mike is here today to talk about their Classic Auto Show that takes place in Costa Mesa, California on March 16th and 17th this year. They host a second show this year in Chicago on September 14th and 15th. The Classic Auto Show is a 2-day festival where classic car community comes together for celebration of all things on wheels. It's a must event for classic car enthusiasts like you and me, collectors, and feature automotive celebrities, demos, vendors, and over 1,000 classic cars. You'll see custom builds, hot rods, vintage cars, classic off-road vehicles, motorcycles, lowriders, Japanese classics, and a whole lot more. And I am very excited and honored to say that I'll be the MC this year on their celebrity stage at the Costa Mesa event. So be sure you attend the event. You can come up and say hello to me and all the great celebrities that I'll be talking with at the event. So, Mike, I've told our listeners just a little bit about you. Would you take a moment, share a little more about your career, your business, and a passion for classic old cars?
Yeah, I appreciate it. Great intro, Mark. I'm a global event organizer. I've been doing that for almost 20 years now. I've had a pretty good career, a pretty good run early on. And for me, it was time to go on to a new organization and build up a new business. I have a passion for that. And that's sort of where Classic Auto comes in. A big family here in Connecticut, also an East Coaster, originally from New Jersey, 2 daughters at home and a wife. Classic Auto, I mean, honestly, it was, I hate to say it, but it was almost something I stumbled upon a while back. The previous owner of my organization is an avid collector, 15 to 16 vehicles. Had the opportunity to get down there, see his collection, take some rides, and it's just something that sort of grew on me. Classic Auto Show was a nice secondary fit. It was something that I wanted to build and develop from the ground up, and that's where we are today. So I'm excited to be a part of it. I'm excited to be here and let the audience know about what we're doing, and we'll be a plan.
Absolutely, because my listeners all love classic cars, and this is an event that's close to my heart because I love them as well. It's in Southern California, where I grew up, so I'm excited to come down there and be a part of this and share the fun with everybody listening today and a whole lot more. This is a wonderful event, and the new venue is going to be pretty cool as well, really close to the John Wayne Airport, real easy to get to. Well, as we continue on your journey, I'd like to start with a success quote or a mantra. This is some kind of a saying that's been instrumental in forming your life and your success, and it's a nice way to get the inspirational tires turning here on Cars Yeah. So, Mike, take the wheel.
The one thing I would say that, it's a mantra that I live by is challenge the status quo. In my world, in my industry, one of the things that, we experience is we've experienced a lot of success. We've experienced a lot of failure. And I think the two go hand in hand. I know it sounds cliche, but in my world, if you're not failing, you're not succeeding. And that's sort of how the events industry works. One thing that I like to do is I love to push the envelope. I like to do bigger and better. I like to take on challenges in my career, the shows that I run, and the opportunities that we develop. I think it's something that drives me every day. When I wake up, I think about it. At the end of the day, I think about what I've done. It's just something that it's a leading force behind what got me to where I am today.
It's a fantastic way to go through life and business, both life and business, is push yourself to the limits that you can. Do a lot of things you've never done before. Yeah, you're going to fail, but I always say if you're going to fall down, fall forward. You'll be a little bit further ahead when you stand back up. But I think that's a great way to go about things. And I can't even imagine the complexities of putting together a show and all the events that you guys put together. And we're going to touch on that in a minute. But first, I wanted you to share a story that might have instigating a little bit of your passion for cars, a pivotal moment in your life when you knew that you were indeed a bit of a car guy.
It came back to what I said earlier when I had the opportunity to really take a peek at and drive some real classic cars. It was something that I never really thought of, to be honest with you. Coincidentally, our company in the UK runs a classic motoring show. And the two lined up. It was almost like, the stars aligned. I started to develop a little bit of a taste for it. And then the opportunity came up to come back here and say, look, do we want to do what we do in the UK and bring it to the mecca of car culture in Southern California and launch a show around classic cars? And when those two stars aligned, I happened to be there at the right moment. So that was really the deciding factor and driver. I've had some, mentors, guides, whatever you want to say it along the way, that have really pushed me through this and have helped me. And I've developed some great relationships and friendships today. Guys like Wayne Carini, who actually happens to be here in Connecticut as well, is sort of a mentor to me in what we're doing and challenges me, and which I like. I like the fact that we can bounce ideas off each other. I also got, I have to call out Dave Kindig as well. Dave, when we started this thing, it was a business relationship. It's become, much more of a friendship, and those guys steer me and guide me. And, when I, as I said, I like pushing and challenging the status quo. Sometimes I may get pushed out to left field a little bit. Sometimes they rein me back in. But it happened to be, where the stars just collided. And I just fell into the right place at the right time.
Well, you mentioned two awesome guys. Both Wayne and Dave have been guests here on Cars. Yeah, I've become friends with those guys. I'm looking forward to being at MC on your stage where I can talk with them again in front of the audience is going to be there. That's going to be really fun, a bit like homecoming. And I know Wayne is good about jumping on his bike in the mornings and treadmill and working out. And he listens to my show. So shout out to Wayne. Hope you're hustling there, good buddy. I need to do exactly what you're doing. You're an inspiration to me as well. And is Dave. What a wonderful guy. The personality on that guy. He's the real deal. Very, very cool. Well, let's take a look at some of the roads you've driven down. Talk about a big challenge or a big failure. You talked about enjoying and embracing these challenges that you face because they're good teaching moments. I would love for you to walk through one with us because, again, I can't imagine putting on all these events you guys put on. The complexity of an event, people don't realize how hard it is and how many moving parts, and they're always moving. There's nothing stationary. So walk us through one of those events and tell us how that experience helped you gain even more momentum as you move forward.
Well, great question. And one thing I will say is that if we're doing our job right, what you won't see as an enthusiast participant, whether a sponsor, vendor, or just an attendee enthusiast, if you don't see any hiccups or issues, all the behind the scenes stuff that we do, we're doing our job well. There is a lot that goes into planning an event, whether it's a large enthusiast event like the Classic Auto Show, some of our more traditional B2B events. It's a challenge. And one of the things that we always try to do with every event that we run is we try to learn. We don't have the answers to everything. You'll always, as you develop and introduce new shows or you're building on existing shows, I try to focus with walking away with 3 big ideas. And that's really that's how I develop my strategy. I don't want to try 20 things and do them half-heartedly or I'm not executing as well as I would really focusing on 3 strategic drivers that are going to make these events better. And one of the things that we do is we always gather insight from our fans. Some of the best ideas that we've had come from our audience, and that's okay. At the end of the day, it's about their experience. We build events for fans. That's first and foremost. So when you're doing the Classic Auto Show, the fan is the first in mind. The enthusiast is who we say, what's going to make the show good? What's going to get you off the couch on the weekend? Luckily, Southern California, that's not as hard. And you have the mecca of car culture down there. And I developed so many friends with some of these car clubs and owners. So the big takeaway is learn something, right? And don't be afraid or reluctant to ask questions, even if they are difficult questions. That's what's going to push us ahead and make us learn from our events and make them better.
Absolutely. So let me ask you this. If there's one thing when you think back to the past Classic Auto shows that seems to be a challenge, one little particular area that it's like, oh yeah, this is one area you need to improve upon, or this is something that always kind of catches us a little bit. Is there one specific thing that you can think of? I'm sure there's a lot, but let's just pick on one. Let's just pick on one today.
Let me say this. I'll put this in a very positive spin. The one thing that I will say that I'm ecstatic about this year is being able to take the show to Orange County in the fairgrounds.
Yes.
One of the things that were really challenged by in the past were being able to do what we wanted to do at a more formal setting. And not that the Orange County Fairgrounds is not formal, but when you're confined by four walls, it makes that experiential factor a little bit more difficult. Capitalizing on what we've learned and the insights from our fans and enthusiasts, it's really adding a lot more experience to this show. We want to be indoors and outdoors. We want it to be a festival feel. We want to have music and entertainment. We want to have better options for food and food trucks and beverages. And really, the venue that we're at right now, the handcuffs have sort of come off, and it allows us to deliver an event that we know it's been our goal since the get-go. I think now is the opportunity to say, look, we have this great venue that's partnering with us that, we can really be as creative as we want to be within reason. And, that's the biggest takeaway. That's been the biggest challenge, is being able to deliver that experience, under one roof and four walls. That's sort of been lifted. So the challenge is now on us to say, look, the wheels are off. Training wheels are off. This is our event now. Let's make it what we've always anticipated it being. And that's a challenge that we take on every day. And it's something that we really look forward to.
No doubt. No doubt. Yeah. And this new venue is pretty cool. They've got the building there called the Hangar, which is going to be pretty fun. We'll have that celebrity stage where I'll get to be up there talking with all these cool people, sharing their stories, their insights like I do here on Cars Yeah. I'm looking really forward to this. It'll be quite a wonderful event. Let's talk about a big aha moment with the Classic Auto Show. Was there one thing? Now, let me ask you, how many years have you been putting this on?
This is our third year.
Third year. So it's a fairly new event, but every time you do it, I'm sure there's things that you kind of go, aha, this is something we need to remember for next year. You talked about getting feedback from people, but was there a big aha with this event, whether it be when you first started to do it or as it's progressed?
My aha moment in this industry is far and away, it's not so much of a planning thing. I learned very quickly, Mark, that I've worked across many industries in my career. I've never worked with a more passion-driven audience where everyone wants to be helpful and everyone cares. It really came through for me, and it threw me back quite a bit. Working with car clubs, seeing them, working with the sponsors, the enthusiasts, even the talent that we have. Everyone wants to help. Everyone wants the event to succeed. And we've done a great job of that. We've grown the show substantially in 2 years. We've outgrew the space that we had. Another reason why we're moving it, to satisfy the demand, which is great. It's where you want to be with the business. But I will tell you, I call them, in a trade show, not to get trade showdy, but we call them apostles. And we have a lot of that. We have a lot of people that promote our events. Guys that, I was just asked to come down and be a guest speaker at the first ever client I've ever called was a car club. I'm going to give him a shout out because I love the guy dearly. He's become a dear friend. It's Paul Montesano, Orange County Mustang Club. Those guys came on and just said, look, what do we got to do? What are we going to do to help? We really want this thing to take off. We did our first year, and I the letters, the emails, the phone calls I got about how much we valued and treated a lot of our vendors and car club enthusiasts, even the fans. It was heartwarming. It was that moment where I said, wow, this is, and we do Comic-Cons and we do, festivals, and they are very rich and passionate and driven. It just seemed like everyone was on the same page here. And that's really the aha moment I have with this industry.
It's the car culture. It is very, very passionate for sure. That's why I love what I'm doing. Everybody I talk to, they love to talk about their cars and their motorcycles and trucks and all of that. Well, let's have a little bit of fun and talk about your first really special car, no matter what that might be, and maybe a memory you have about that vehicle.
It was nothing crazy or fancy. It was a Chevy Corsica. The beauty of it was the ability to now, take the keys and have my own freedom to do what I wanted to do. Unfortunately, the car was totaled about 2 weeks after I got it. It was hit in front of my house. Yeah, it's a sad story. Always has a special place in my heart. I think the beauty, when you get your keys for the first time and you have your first car, your first ride, I think so. It's one of the things where you know where you are the day that happened. It's one of those things. Everyone remembers their first car. Although short-lived, it was a good time, and, I miss her.
No doubt, no doubt. Oh, that's harsh, just 2 weeks into it. Is there a car you've owned over the years that you really wish you had back, that you really enjoyed?
I'm sort of an old soul. My friends, imagine, in your young at the time, in your 20s, driving a Lincoln Continental. and then a Lincoln Town Car. I like that big sort of car feel that, I almost feel like you're in a recliner driving down, the freeway. Again, early on, you would have thought, that it would be something different. That's where I was back then. I mean, I do miss, having and owning those cars. One of the things that's special to me is, my grandfather growing up, who I'm still fortunate to have around. He's 93, lives in Florida. Yeah, he was a fire chief in New Jersey. I got it from him. I always looked up to him. He at the top of his profession. I always see the car, coming down the street. And when my car got totaled, he handed the keys to his car over to me. So it's a special thing for me, something that I miss the car, and it's something that I'll always remember.
Well, let's talk about the Classic Auto Show. Again, this is taking place in Costa Mesa, California, March 16th and 17th. I'd love for you to share with our listeners, kind of give them a picture in their mind of what they can expect and why they need to attend this event.
Yeah, well, you're going to expect a lot of songs, a lot of the network stars. I'm happy to say, and we announced this yesterday. We just announced yesterday that our Grand Marshal, our Master of Ceremonies, is going to be Adam Carolla, who's going to be bringing a lot of his own personal Paul Newman collection. Near and dear to my heart, Wayne Carini, Dave Kindig, Lynn St. James. We have Bogey, Mike Finnegan, Mark Warman. We have a great MC. Hint, hint, a little plug out to you there, Mark.
Thank you.
You're going to see a lot of, you're going to get a chance to really rub elbows with these guys. One of the things about this show that's great is, our talent stars, they take the opportunity to really meet and greet every fan. And we're not done yet. We have more in the hopper, but you're going to get the opportunity to get autographs, things signed, meet and greets, etc. We also really want to focus on the heart of what we are. I mean, this audience is very much a doer, roll up your sleeves kind of audience. I mean, you're going to see a restoration stage that's being emceed by Bogey, where we're doing a lot of the, what the fans want, essentially, going back to the insight. A lot of demos, auto detailing, backed by popular demand and growing quite nicely is our Women in Wheels program. You're going to see a lot of that at the show as well. We have a cool little, we are over the St. Paddy's Day weekend, a 40 Shades of Green display.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. It's all classics, all green classics in the main mall area. We're sourcing those vehicles now, doing very well with that. A classic truck tailgate party. Again, we want to embrace the fact that it is that, really make it that Southern California event with that festival feel. We are going to have several of the museums there. The Peterson has been wonderful with their collection. San Diego Automotive Museum, California Automotive Museum, Automobile Driving Museum. We're going to have a cackle car feature as well, pinstriping demos with some of the local pinstripe masters, Johnny Martinez, Mike Donner, Emily Bradshaw. There's also, I know, a 3-hour workshop with the legendary Von Hot Rod. I know the fans love him. We want to do something too for the kids. This is it's a popular weekend. We know that, there are going to be families bringing down the kids. I'm still working with Haggerty now on their youth judging. We also have a kids zone. We're going to have a kids zone with a lot of the hands-on STEM activities, an RC racetrack, obstacle course, scavenger hunt. We really want to embrace, again, going back to taking advantage of the venue that we're in and the heart of where we want to be. Going as far, bringing people up from San Diego up to the LA area, and then more festive festivals. We have more brands, a lot more food choices, food trucks. You said it earlier, Mark, there's a lot of planning that goes into these events. And I got to tell you, my team is wonderful. We wouldn't be where we are without them. But we really want to, you're going to see and feel a real cool event. And that's sort of, because we're shaping it with the community. And that's a big thing. We really want them to weigh in on what they want to see. Going back to it, another, part of the mantra is we build these shows for the enthusiast, and that's our first goal in mind. So all the stuff we couldn't do before, chains are lifted. We're up and running. You're going to see and feel a real cool event.
This is going to be absolutely spectacular. I cannot wait to be there and be part of it. It's going to be so much fun. And remember, listeners, to mark on your calendars now, because we're into the new year, March 16th and 17th. In Costa Mesa, California, the convention, not convention center. What do they call the center where you're having it?
It's called the Orange County Fairgrounds in Costa Mesa.
There you go. Orange County Fairgrounds. Yeah, it's right there by the John Wayne Airport. Easy to get to from all over the Southland. And even if it's worth flying in, come in and visit it. Come be a part of this thing. It's going to be fantastic. Really looking forward to it. Here's a very introspective question for you, Mike. If you woke up tomorrow and you were some kind of a classic car, manifested into something cool and old and some people would love, just like you. I won't call you old, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What would you be and why?
I'm a big fan of loud and fast.
Okay.
It's sort of how I operate. I'm always on the move. I am very loud. Everyone says I have endless energy, and it's true. When I hit the pillow at night, I completely shut down. But I'm a big fan of the 67 Shelby GT500 Fastback.
Ooh, nice.
I love that car. I know, it's funny. It was last year. I was in Wayne's showroom, Wayne Carini, here in Connecticut. He had one for sale. I badgered him a bit to give me a better deal. Wayne's is a tough negotiator, and unfortunately, my wife needs a new kitchen, so that's not happening anytime soon. But we can live and we can dream. But that's where I'd be.
That's where you'd be. I love it. That's very good. Yeah, Wayne and his business, F40 Motorsports, a great company, great cars, and you don't stay in business as long as Wayne has without being a good negotiator, a good buyer, and a great seller. Well, Mike, up next is the last lap before we put the pedal to the metal. Let's say thank you to today's Cars Yeah sponsors. Hey, Cars Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Covercraft. I've protected my vehicles with their products for decades. Want to keep your vehicle's interior looking new? It's easy with Covercraft seat covers. They'll protect your seats from the daily abuse of pets, children, weekend adventures, and even those everyday spills. It's a fast, easy, and inexpensive way to keep your vehicle looking new. All Covercraft seat covers are easy on, easy off design that are machine washable. You can choose from many fabric options, colors, and accessories, all designed and carefully sewn for your special vehicles. Their seat gloves are semi-custom fit for cars and trucks, and their seat savers, a favorite of mine, are custom tailored to fit your seats like a glove. Work truck seat covers are tough, durable denim weight fabric. It's like putting a pair of rugged jeans on your truck's seats. Want to stay warm? Covercraft also offers seat heaters. Covercraft is the right choice. Learn more today at covercraft.com and tell them Mark at Cars Yeah sent you. That's covercraft.com. Are you looking for a way to get your products or services into the ears of thousands of automotive enthusiasts around the globe? I can help. This is Mark Green here at Cars Yeah, and I'd be honored to be an influencer and ambassador for your brand in a unique and personal way. 5 days a week, thousands of subscribers and listeners enjoy the Cars Yeah podcast and website. Contact me today and I'll show you how. At mark@carsyeah.com or connect with me through the Cars Yeah website at carsyeah.com. Hey, Mark Green here from the Cars Yeah podcast. Did you know you can now see me on the Cars Yeah TV show? That's right, Cars Yeah is now on MAV TV. I visit some of the past Cars Yeah guests and take you along for the ride. Go to mavtv.com to learn more where you can enjoy Cars Yeah TV. MAV TV is also available on DirecTV, Fubo TV, Fios by Verizon, or you can stream it through mavtv.com online. And they said I only had a face for podcasting. All right, Mike, we are back and we're entering the last lap. I'm going to fire off a series of questions and ask you to give our listeners some very quick blips of the throttle answers. So here we go. What's the best automotive advice you've ever received?
In this industry, working with the show and keeping it about the show, I would say don't be afraid to fail and don't be afraid to try new things, especially with these shows. There happens to be a lot of them. We want to be a big, different type of event. Throw it up against the wall and always keep the enthusiasts in mind. That came from a number of different people that I respect, and that's something that I live by when I plan this event.
And I'll throw a little curve into your answer here. When it comes to cars, some people kind of get stuck in marks. They get stuck in times. I always encourage people, try looking at other kind of vehicles. Try driving other kinds of vehicles. Try to go to some car shows with other marks that you never thought you'd have some interest in. You'll never know where your expansive horizons may go when you experience new things and push yourself out there.
We have such a variety of cars on our show. That's the big thing. I mean, we're dealing with 70, 75 car clubs from all the way as far as Northern California, all the way down to San Diego. So the variety is there. And one of the cool things that we're having that I forgot to mention earlier is we are going to have the opportunity to drive some of these vehicles.
Nice.
Nice. So we're excited about that. So you will have the opportunity to hop into a classic, and there'll be a variety there, and take a test drive.
Very, very cool. Would you share one of your personal habits you believe has contributed to your many successes over the years?
100% a goal setter, almost to a neurotic about it to some extent. I know it's funny, but for me, I wake up and I set a goal, and I push as hard as I can. I grew up with a sales background. That's where my wheelhouse was, and that's all about goal setting. So for me, it's setting a goal and making sure it's realistic but challenging, and that's what drives me every day.
And being enthusiastic, that's for sure, too.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have a resource that you think our listeners would really enjoy?
There are so many of them out there. I mean, I try to read up on a number of them. I'm reading all the publications. I mean, there are so many in this industry. I hate to call out one or two. I think even social media, if you're looking at what's being posted on social, some of the talent stars, some of the industry, there's some of the builders in this industry, where it's going, where the industry is really going and what's happening. I don't necessarily hone down on one. I like to follow them all. For me, it's sort of like how my show is. It's about variety. And the fact that you're going to see a number of different cars and that type of variety, same thing I couldn't hone down on one, to be honest with you, Mark.
Yeah. Well, we'll say social media, because that's a great place to learn about what people are doing. And so many people are putting out there, especially the builders and so forth, but everybody. I mean, it's just great how we can connect these days. Now, if I could arrange for you to sit down and have a drink with anyone in the automotive industry, living or deceased, who would that be?
Great question, and my answer may be a little bit off the beaten path here to some extent. I would say Aaron Kaufman, and it's funny because he is he's really cool. He comes across very chill. It's sort of the yin to my yang. I have enough energy for everyone in the room. And I think having a drink with a guy like that, I'd love to get him to my show, and we're going to try. If not this year, we will have him there. But it's a guy that I really want to meet. I love his approach. I love his style. I know it's sort of maybe not what you expected, but to me, I think I'd have a great conversation with him.
I think so. I'd love to have him on this show as well here on Cars. Yeah, he seems like a really, really cool guy. And we'll both work on that together, and we can help each other get Aaron in both venues. How about a book? Is there a book you've read that you think the listeners would really enjoy reading?
I wish, Mark. I have been so busy these last, several years. I think the last book I had was Silver Linings Playbook.
There you go.
Look, I look forward to maybe kicking it back when the show's over, doing a little vacation with the family, and picking up a good read. But right now, I am full throttle to this event, and that's where I'll be.
I understand. Well, I'll remind our listeners that if you want to look for a cool book to read, just go to the Cars Yeah website. There's a great place there under the Resources tab called Guest Recommended Books, where way over 1,300 books have been recommended by past guests. And Mike, you can go there too, and maybe you can find yourself something to read when you do have time to take that nice vacation, sit by a pool or a beach and crack open a book and enjoy it. Or you can do like my wife does, listen to audiobooks. She gets most of hers from the library for free. She's always listening to something in her ears. That's why she never hears what I'm talking about, because she's walking around with that book in her ears all the time. All right, we are up to the checkered flag, and this last question could be a bit of a doozy, but it's a fun thought. Today, Mike, I'm going to buy you any cool collector car on the planet. Doesn't matter who owns it or where it is. I'm going to park it in your garage, but there's a couple rules to this deal. It's the only collector car you can have. You have to drive it. No garage queens. I want you to go out and enjoy it. And you can't sell it to buy a bunch of other toys with or a kitchen for your wife. So what's it going to be?
I'm going to go with Old Reliable. I want the 67 Shelby GT500 Fastback in Wayne Creedy showroom. I know that's, unless Mark, you're looking for more of a celebrity car.
No, this is a good answer. I like this, and I'm sure Wayne will be happy when I send him that check so he can deliver that car to you. What color is that particular Fastback?
It's blue. It was a light blue. I don't even know if it's still there. I mean, I was up there a few months back. Every time I walk in, it just draws me right to it. I've seen a few of them out in Orange County as well. For me, it's the epitome. I made a deal with my wife, a couple of years back, and said, if I get into this classic world, and I'm in it now, and I could do 3 renderings of a good show and have stability here, the deal is I'm buying myself, a classic car. Again, the kitchen's going to come first because she's always going to win. Happy wife, happy life.
Yes.
But when that's done, I'm going to beat up Karini a little bit more and try to get that Shelby Fastback.
Well, see, the magic of Cars Yeah is you don't have to beat anybody up because I'm going to deliver this to your garage. So you don't have to worry about it. And I'll find that car because I can find anything. So I'll start looking for that blue GT500 fastback. We'll park that in your garage. You can bring it out here to the beautiful Classic Auto Show. Again, it's going to take place in Costa Mesa, California, March 16th and 17th. Wow. Well, Mike, you've taken us on a great ride. I've really enjoyed getting to know you better. I can't wait to meet you at the Classic Auto Show. That'll be even more fun. Thanks for sharing your journey. Could you offer us a little parting piece of wisdom or guidance before you rip off into the sunset in that 67 Shelby GT 500?
Oh, that visual is so great right now. I mean, you're putting me at the top of my day right now. Parting advice for me, from a career perspective or business perspective is don't be afraid to fail. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I failed in this industry, and it's okay. We learn something from everything that you do, and it's going to make you better at what you do regardless of what it is. And again, I go back to it every day. Challenge the status quo. Remain relevant and keep pushing. If you push hard enough at anything, you're going to get there. You may have some pitfalls or hiccups or obstacles along the way, but keep that in mind, set those goals, and you'll do what you want to do in life, whether it's in life or in business. That would be my parting words.
There you go. What's the best way for our listeners to learn more about you and the Classic Auto Show?
Simple. Go to the website. It's www.theclassicautoshow.com. You'll see we have our Costa Mesa event up there as well as our event in Chicago. I'd love the audience to take a peek in there and learn a little bit more about what we're doing. I know we've only scratched the surface today. There's so much more planned. I could do this for hours and talk to you for hours. Hopefully it was enough of a snippet to give the audience an idea of what we want to do, what we are doing at this show, which I look forward to seeing everyone down there.
No doubt. And again, listeners, make plans to attend the Classic Auto Show in Costa Mesa in March 16th and 17th. I'll be there as the MC on the celebrity stage, getting to talk to a lot of my old buddies who've been past guests here on Cars Yeah. Some of the people we've mentioned. I'm looking forward to it. Watch my social media because I'm going to be posting a lot of things about this as a lead up so you know what's coming. Listeners, again, you can find everything we talked about today on the Cars Yeah website. Just go to carsyeah.com, type in Mike Carlucci, and his page will pop right up. Mike, thanks for being so generous today with your time and expertise and for sharing your experiences with me and the Cars Yeah listeners. Until you and I talk again, I'll see you at the Classic Auto Show.
You got it. Thanks, Mark. Look forward to meeting you at the show.
It'll be fun. You take care of your cars, but who takes care of your investments? Tune-ups aren't just for engines. Updating your financial plan is important too. Your GPS may take you from A to B, but it won't help you on the road to financial freedom. For that, you need a good co-pilot and a very trusted advisor. Chris Kimball, CFP, is just the man for the job. He'll guide you down that road without driving you crazy. For over 25 years, Chris has helped people just like you and me with their financial planning and investments. With a master's degree in financial services, he is eminently qualified, and he's a car guy too. Learn more at chrisvkimball.com or call 866-ON-A-PLAN. Securities through Money Concepts Capital Corp., member FINRA SIPC. CK Financial Services is not affiliated with Money Concepts Capital Corp.
Thank you so much for joining us on today's ride here at Cars Yeah. Drive on over to carsyeah.com to find show notes and inspiring automotive fun. Download your free copy of Filler Up, a fun book filled with gorgeous photographs of fuel filler fun, including quotes from more inspiring automotive enthusiasts. Download your copy today, and we'll see you next time on Cars Yeah.